First Eps podcast is back. Week 4 of spooky awesomeness. Spooky kooky here at First Eps. We watched the first episode of 28 Days Haunted.
Right.
Not 28 Days Later.
No, that's what I always want to refer to it as.
Something
why I've stopped calling it anything.
Completely different.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about it. My name is Eric.
Keith.
And this is First Eps. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of First Eps. We're full into spooky season now. Week 4 of 5 horror-filled weeks of awesomeness.
Yeah. Totally awesome.
Yeah, this week we watched 28 Days Haunted.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to say 28 Days Later also.
Exactly. Why did every 28? Oh, because that was the Warrens had a
that
thought?
was their thing.
Okay.
This is a new show on Netflix. And what it is, it's very different from a lot of the other shows we see on Netflix. This is a reality ghost hunting show.
Yeah, which is I don't think that I've ever seen that from them before.
Yeah. But we're gonna talk all about the first episode of that show. Before that, though, what's been going on?
Well, we did go
What did we do?
we went to a haunted event.
Possibly couldn't fit much better than this. Like this whole themed episode, like Ghost A Palooza.
Yeah.
Like we watched a brand new show about ghost hunting.
Yeah.
And last week we went ghost hunting ourselves.
Yes, we did.
Like we were in the show.
Yes. But
the production level on this episode
rival what we did.
Through the roof. No, of our show, First Eps, through the roof.
Yes, I can totally
agree.
agree.
Look at this. We're doing paid research outside.
We're paying for research outside, but it was exciting. That was fun.
We'll talk about that. We're gonna go through the show that we watched, and then we'll talk about our experiences afterwards.
How it was different, the same as what we did there. Okay, but that was what's exciting for me this week.
That was exciting. Yeah, I am excited to talk about that. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the first app because there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about in the first app. Now, you are You're a big fan of these type of shows.
I am.
The ghost hunting
Love
shows.
the paranormal ghost shows.
What's your favorite right now?
Of these kind of shows?
Yeah. Because I know it used to be like the Holzer Files.
The Holzer Files. That wasn't my favorite, but I did enjoy it. And
Ghost Adventures.
I think it's still the Kindred Spirits ones. Although I really have been liking a lot. Ghost Brothers Lights Out is a good one too.
I like that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Ghost Brothers Lights Out.
Yeah.
What about Conjure and Kesha? How's that rank? Still up there? Top of the charts?
So I would definitely watch another season of Conjure and Kesha. 100%. Kesha, if you're listening, I made a mistake during our first round.
You won't shut up about this.
I won't. I would love to see you again and get back on, make it another season. But it's not my favorite, no. Right. But I like her. Yeah,
now I haven't watched these type of shows outside of what we've watched for this program. Since I remember we used to watch Ghost Hunters regularly.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Like that was a thing. We would get together and we watch Ghost Hunters.
Did we really?
Yeah. Because it was on we would watch. They would put on blocks of it, and we would be like, let's go.
Oh, this is it. I do remember watching. I think it was one of the Halloween specials over here once. I feel it was live, the Buffalo Terminal or something.
Yeah, that was a bust.
At the Central Terminal, that was it. Yes.
All right. Well, let's talk about this show. It starts out with a warning. Do not try this at home type thing.
Oh, no. How dare you live in a house for 28 days that's haunted? There aren't people across the country or the world that are doing that too.
That's a good point.
That they dabble in for one day and they go home and they pretend it's not a big deal. Yeah, this is someone's life and welcome to it. It's fucking hell.
Yeah, so you're saying that was a little insensitive?
It was, completely.
That there's people that are just living in haunted houses?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I was like, come on, people.
That's a good point.
We're really sensationalizing this here.
Yeah. All right, but it starts off, and then it talks about Ed and Lorraine Warren, the famous, ghost hunters.
Oof. If you don't know who they are, you got to look them up. Google them.
Google them. But they're the subject of The Conjuring. Everybody loves that movie.
They're like the Kesha of the spirit world.
I've heard that. But their thing is that it takes 28 days to pierce the veil between the living and the dead.
Now, this I've never heard of before.
The 28-day cycle, they called it.
Not I know every piece of their work, but they made it seem like this was a seminal theory that they had, and I don't remember ever hearing about this 28 days theory. So,
I heard about a 30-day cycle.
Okay, absolutely.
Yeah, but never a 28-day cycle. And that was something different.
Yeah. It sounds like it could be something different.
So they talk about then NESPER. I did not write down what that meant. NESPER, the New England Society of Paranormal Researchers.
Something about that.
Wow,
yeah,
that could be it.
That sounds right. They formed that or something. Yeah.
And now it's run by this creep, Tony Spira.
Yeah, who is their son-in-law.
Now, I will say, when I call him a creep, I don't know anything about him. He doesn't say anything in this thing, but he just looks like looks kind of like a creep.
They built him into a leading role very early on, and then oh my gosh,
I wonder if he's producing this.
I wonder too. Aaron Sangers, that's the other one too.
And then Aaron Sangers, he's an expert that they have them reviewing the footage.
But we didn't see them at all this first episode. So I thought we were gonna see them more. But yeah, the son-in-law of the Warrens was creepy. Do
you think he's taking advantage of their name?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Okay. Now that's.
I mean, I have no idea, but just looking at him, he looked like a car salesman from like.
We're trying to get in a lawsuit because this guy does look like someone who would sue us for saying that he is taking advantage of his estate. But
this is allegedly.
Yeah,
this is not
exactly. We're clear. If we say allegedly, you can't say shit to us, Tony.
Tony. Anyway, but I don't know anything about the guy, but maybe.
Yeah. Then they talk about what's going to happen during this 28 days.
Yeah.
So now my favorite part, I thought it was really cool. They say they have no contact to the outside or no prior knowledge about where they're going. Mm-hmm. They put them in blindfolds and they drive them to their destination.
Yep.
So they can't do any research about what happened here.
They take away the cell phones.
Now, if this entire show is based on the premise that it is truthful.
Right.
Now, I don't know what these shows do anymore. I always felt like Ghost Hunters felt truthful, which is why I liked
the original one, right?
Yes.
Because sometimes it was kind of boring, right? It was like,
there were sometimes where like I don't hear shit.
I hear a whistle, maybe.
Yeah. And now every episode, it's very like intense. And
that's one of the reasons. Yeah, when you start getting like those like what we listened to, the Jack Osbourne one, where all of a sudden, like during the one moment that there was knocking and intense, possible activity happening, they had swelled the music so you couldn't even understand, you couldn't even hear it.
Yeah,
like so that is, if you're a producer of these shows, the viewers do not want that.
and that's what I liked about this one. When we were like listening in a quiet room, we were listening in a quiet room.
Exactly,
they weren't blaring like these like sensational like sounds and shit in our faces.
Yeah, exactly.
So they take them to three teams of people, three separate locations: Denver, Colorado, Madison, North Carolina, and Preston, Connecticut. And yeah, like I said, it's three teams.
Yeah,
it's people that you were familiar with from other ghost hunting shows.
Yes, so there's at least two of them I recognize from. There was Shane Pittman, who's from the Holzer Files.
Okay,
and I was always wondering what happened to him because he was not in what's his name, Cindy Kaza, and oh my gosh. Anyway, the other guy who like led that show,
is that show still on?
No, it's on. It's on. I don't think it's been canceled, but it's on hiatus.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw them on another Discovery show, and I didn't see Shane. I'm like, why isn't Shane on this?
Gotcha.
And now it's either because one of them signed up without the other one, but I'm assuming that Shane on hiatus got this role, and then they probably got that one.
Yeah,
because they're now in another threesome without Shane.
Wow.
So Shane is here. So
yeah. So this first group was Shane, Amy, and Ray.
And they're in Denver.
They're in Denver.
Yeah.
Amy she's a sensitive.
She's sensitive. What did you say?
She's a sympathetic creature. But yeah, she keeps saying the whole time that she's open to physical attacks on her, like being because she's a sensitive.
So how it's described to me is that people who are sensitives or mediums are like a flame.
Okay.
So people on the other side that can sense the flame even stronger. So they're going to go towards that to try to communicate. So good or bad. And that could be why it's bad. Because if there's a bad person there, they're going to try to like really get into our world via her.
Gotcha.
Yep.
All right. Very cool. We meet the second group. They're out at Madison Dry Goods in Madison, North Carolina.
That was a great one when they took up their blindfolds.
Yeah.
Like, they were like, oh my God.
Dry Goods.
It's like, I mean, it's a cool old like storefront.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like a huge asylum or something. It wasn't, oh my God. It was
It
kind
was
of like,
not, oh my God.
where are we? This is cool.
They were really excited about Dry Goods.
Yeah. Now, the one guy I didn't know too, he was from the Ghost, I think it's called the Ghost of Morgan City, also from Discovery Plus.
Jarame.
Jeremy something. But his name is like, you could say Jereme.
Yeah, it's spelled Jereme.
Yeah.
Jarame.
He was from Ghost of Morgan City. In fact, I think we watched a show where the psychic from that show was on. But I don't know. They all get caught in your head now. Anyway, yeah.
Jeremy, he's a demonologist.
Yeah.
And Brandy, that's his what is his partner?
Yeah, partner.
Yeah. She's a psychic medium.
And it's just those two for this one.
Just those two.
Yeah.
And we'll get into it later, but I can't stand those two.
Yeah, and I don't think Jeremy was called a demonologist in the one I saw, by the way. I think he was a tech guy.
Maybe he went to school for this and he advanced his degree.
Maybe.
And then the third group, they're at Captain Grant's in Preston, Connecticut.
I'm supposed to look that one up. Let me do that as you're talking.
Okay. So, but it starts off, and they're all like posing like superheroes.
Oh, that was great.
Is that supposed to be serious?
I don't know. Like their chests are out.
Yeah.
They've got their blindfolds on. It looked like
Oh, we got this.
If anybody plays Overwatch, it's like the beginning of the ending scene when
Yes.
they're like win together.
Yes, but this is Sean, Nick, and Aaron. I really liked Nick out of this group. He's like this, this big burly guy, and he's like the skeptic, and he's the tech guy. So like, if he could capture it on like audio, video, he's open to it, and like could be changed.
100% he's gonna get like thrown across a room.
Yeah,
it always happens to these guys.
So I feel, pretty similar to him about this whole thing. So I like him. He's who I'm rooting for on this whole deal.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I like Nick. And he's a tech guy. I would be that guy.
Yeah.
Really.
All right. You would be a tech guy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then Sean is a medium.
Yeah.
He was annoying.
Yeah.
And then,
I would want to be him, but I don't have those abilities, so I can't be him.
No, you would be Aaron.
Yeah.
He's just like,
I just kind of take the video camera
cool
around.
Guy,
Cool. Thank you.
Cool guy. He had nice shoes.
Just glasses.
Yeah. Tattoos. Cool guy.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, it's right. This Captain Grant's in. Now there's cameras.
This is it. 1774. Right? This is the famous one.
You know this one?
I've seen this on a couple of my shows. Yeah.
Okay. There's cameras everywhere throughout the house.
Yep.
So there's not a team of
no cameramen.
Cameramen in there. There's just wall cameras everywhere, and it's like going to a central hub. And then like one of their group is either setting up a camera or holding a camera.
Yeah. So there's a lot of like Big Brother in that respect, which I was excited about.
Yeah, I like that. They're just they're literally cut off from everything. Yeah. They just gotta they're in there.
Yeah.
They're in there doing it.
Like, do you think people bring them food and coffee? They make it themselves? I'm always like.
Yeah, you want to see like a little bit of the behind the scenes,
like you said, like
can they maybe like DoorDash something maybe?
Yeah, can you do that? Yeah, we want 28 Days Haunted after dark.
Yeah, just see like who's
the Big Brothers fans
making out with who
exactly. What the ghosts having making love out in the backyard?
Exactly.
Taking showers and stuff.
Netflix, we want 28 Days Haunted after dark. Put it in writing. If you don't know what that means, call us. We'll
yeah. After midnight, maybe?
Yeah.
That'd be a good one, right?
Be a good one.
Yeah.
Spooky after midnight.
Yes.
Yeah. And then like they could say the line like, "Are you a haunted house?" Because I'm gonna be screaming when I'm in you.
Did you just make that up?
No, I heard that the other day and I loved it.
It's horrific. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So. We go through we go through each one of the things. So they go back and forth through them. But we'll just go through each location. We'll talk quick what happened.
Sure.
So at the Lumber Baron Inn, that is Shane, Amy, and Ray.
Yep.
They're
the Valentine Suite.
Yes. They're using a thing that I thought was cool, the Estes method. Now you had to tell me what this was. And they explain it on the show too. Yeah. But you have like you're blindfolded, you're in headphones, you can't hear anything outside of what you're listening to, and you're listening to one of those spirit boxes. Yep. And it's just switching through like frequencies super fast.
Yep. So you don't hear anything usually, but sometimes you hear a voice come through.
Yeah.
But you don't hear in this one the question asks, so the person really focuses in on just listening. They're not even trying to participate in the questions. In fact, they can't hear them. And supposedly it's supposed to be much more sensitive.
It was cool.
When you do that. Yeah.
I could see that. Like I want to try this now because like he's just saying like words he hears. It's kind of like when the therapist shows you the pictures and you say like what the first word that comes to your mind.
The Rorschach test. Exactly.
Yes, it's like an audio version of that. So and he's just like dead, blood, get out. Like,
Yeah.
it was, and he was like, there's a dark entity here.
Yep.
2 dead girls.
Yeah.
Like, it was a whole thing about these dead girls and stuff
Yes,
like that.
that's right.
But yeah, so they do that I think they do it in 2 of the rooms.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just like go in there and talk.
Yeah, like the sensitive woman tried it too, and then she said she saw a pair of eyes opening up in front of her when her eyes were, listening blindfolded. So she took it off. She's like, I'm done.
That's right.
There's something here, and she saw a lot of blood on the 2 girls. So
yeah. So and then they talk about that. The producers are like, there was a murder of 2 girls.
That's what they did
here.
say that afterwards. Yeah,
and I was like, oh,
that's interesting.
Yeah. So again, if
they didn't
truthful,
know that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, not 2 dead girls is not cool.
No, but the fact that they knew that, or they were able to connect with the spirits or their psychic energies to know that, whatever it was.
And then they go to the Captain Grant's Inn with Sean, Nick, and Aaron.
Yep.
And there's not nearly as cool.
No.
These guys at first they're busting out like the Estes method, and it cuts to this team, and they're just standing in a room going, "Did you hear that?" Like, no, nothing at all. But soon after that, they redeem themselves. They pull out the this oldie time radio that they have like made into a spirit box.
Yeah, I think it's mostly I think it's just a speaker they've connected it to, so it speaks out of that.
Oh, just to like because it looks cool.
It looks cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
it did look pretty
sure.
cool.
It did look cool. Yeah.
And then they had another cool looking thing. So it's like this crank wheel.
Yeah.
It looked like a bingo roller.
Yes, I bet it was built on that same system.
And then arcing like electricity that goes through like these 2 little arms that stick up. I didn't understand what that was for. You said it was to increase the electricity in the room?
Yeah. So the thought is that these ghosts pull from electricity in the atmosphere to manifest. So that's why if it's like lighting outside, there's energy around the atmosphere, so they can come out more easily.
Yeah.
That's why inside sometimes like the energy gets drawn out of the lamps or your batteries for your equipment.
Yeah.
And this is just a nice easy way for them to just draw it. Like you're just producing it right there.
Very cool.
Charging the atmosphere.
I like that idea.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's bullshit or not, it sounds cool. And that's all that matters. I'll tell you what seems like bullshit.
Yeah.
The spirit box.
Yeah.
Because the whole time, like, anytime,
with this group.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anytime we've ever heard a spirit box, it's this fast, like, frequency thing. This one, it's just like to me, it just sounded like a recording because every single thing that came out of the spirit box sounded creepy as fuck. Yeah. And it was like, oh, I'm dead.
I was wondering, like, did they modulate it?
I'm dead.
I mean, I wonder if that's part of that thing. Maybe there was a modulation put into it to like wean out the static and just try to
just make it sound creepy.
I don't know. Because there is another one that I watched too. The one that Jack Osborne is on with Katrina Weidman. They have a Portals to Hell. They have one too that everything on it sounds completely creepy that comes out of it. Mm-hmm. But it does also play, like it has a very deep reverberation and echo. So it's like, hello.
So it's amplifying the clearer frequencies or whatever.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if this one has something modifying.
Because it definitely was like super sketchy where like they're talking to it and it's just saying like every single thing was like, and then there would be whispers and it would be like, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Like shit like that.
He's in our head.
Yeah. And I'm like, wait a minute. This radio has creepy whispers coming out of it, and you're not be like,
yeah, it was.
They're like, did you hear that one?
I heard that one.
Yeah.
Dude.
Adelaide. It said Adelaide.
But that was a little weird. They kept
they were forcing that one.
Yeah. It literally sounded like this. Well, I'm Adelaide.
Yeah, I heard Adelaide. I'm like, no, I heard Marmite.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought I heard Babette.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Whatever.
So that was them over there in
so that was cool still, but
I liked their instruments.
Yeah.
And the tech guy, he's not disappointing. He's bringing out all the stops, the tech, the gear.
Yep.
And then the worst team.
Oof.
We're going over to Madison Dry Goods.
Yeah.
Brandy and Jerem. So
they're wandering around and they find a room that has a coffin in it, a stone coffin.
First of all, let's talk about Brandy. She's a fifth generation psychic medium, and her daughter's a medium as well.
Okay.
And like just the way they're talking, like It was so annoying, so carny. Like, everything about it. I'm like, really? This is the other team? And I don't know if it helps that, like, you know, they're Southern, but they just seemed like carny. She had, like, a little bit of a meth face. You know, I'm not saying she did meth, but I'm just saying, man. And then Jeremy, he's like, I'm a demonologist. And the first thing he does, he's like, I'm going to provoke these spirits. I'm like, motherfucker, you're supposed to stay there for 28 days. And you're the first day, you're like, I'm going to provoke. He's a supposed demonologist.
That's true.
That's going to try to provoke these people in one of the most haunted locations in the fucking country.
And they're just stuck in.
Yes. And I'm like, maybe he's just trying to be like a badass or whatever. But I'm like, no, he's putting on this. They're both putting on this fake fucking front for this show. And I don't like it.
I did think that they were the ones putting on a fake front. 100%.
Yeah. So they walk into one of the rooms, and this is where they see like a coffin on display. And they're like, what?
And I thought that was really funny. That like, so the psychic lady didn't pick up on any. You would think that since there probably were a lot of burials there, that you would have felt like, I see a lot of people crying. Or, I mean, I've seen a lot of other psychics. What's this woman's name?
Brandy,
being able to identify those by saying things like that. You know, I see tears. I see people speaking. I see a lot of hugging, but it's sad. They're like, oh, this is a funeral home? That makes sense.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
None of that.
No.
She saw kids.
Yeah. She saw everything.
Yeah.
But, so
she saw everything.
Their first idea is to put her in a coffin, like, and he's going to have, like, this sermon over her.
Yeah, like, now, first of all, and then they this was an odd part, because the coffin we saw was this old stone one from like
where did they get this coffin?
1800s.
Was it just laying around?
Exactly. Then
did they bring the coffin with them?
That was weird to me. I don't know. Do dry goods stores sell coffins?
Ooh, depends on what era this was from.
Because then all of a sudden the next scene, we're like, first of all, we're like, wait, they're going to bring out that old stone one? Like, isn't that a museum object? Should they not be sitting in that?
Yeah, no, they had.
No, they didn't. They found an oak one.
They might bring it with them. He seemed like he knew what he was doing this sermon. Like, we lost someone close to us.
And thank you. You've now brought up is this man like ordained reverend? Because it seems like he's parading around like he has
definitely seemed that way.
I think he pretends like he is, and I think he wants to be, but I don't think he is.
I think we got to do our research.
Yeah, because I was a little bit insulted for religious.
Because then was he like spraying holy water around?
Yeah, he was shooting it everywhere.
Yeah,
I mean, and it's the thing. Like, what I want to know more about what gives him the right to claim authority as a Christian demonologist. Like, did he go for? I don't know.
Yeah,
it seems like he does not.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a school for that.
I saw that he wore a cross around his neck, so maybe that makes him.
Yeah, I don't know. They were all wearing crosses. They had tattoos of crosses. Everybody had crosses.
It just seemed, that I did not like. Is it because I want to be running around with, like,
you are jealous, yes.
Possibly.
It's absolutely jealous.
And do I want to be on a show like this? Probably.
Why don't you look into it? How to get your demonologist degree?
Well, I don't know if I really want to do that, though. But, do I want him doing it? No. I want to pick and choose what demonologist I want to look at for.
You would be too worried, too freaked out that you would bring something home?
I mean, probably, yeah. I mean, I don't want to put myself in those situations willingly. That's not my thing.
Yeah.
But would I like to be able to protect myself or people I'm with if they come about? Yes. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be a vampire hunter.
Did you know there's a series of that?
What?
Like a legit vampire hunter show. Two guys.
A reality show?
Yeah. Two guys.
That's ridiculous.
They claim that vampires are real. I'll find it. It's on Discovery Plus.
Oh my God. Have they ever killed a vampire?
I don't know. They've gotten very close to catching some sometimes.
They're just murdering people.
I don't think
they're just calling them vampires.
I don't think they kill any. But it's the same kind of theory. The same kind of show. They're like, well, I heard that there might have been a meeting downtown yesterday of the vampires.
Go.
They're like, and then 20 hours later, they're staked out their thing, and they're like out there, like.
Have they ever seen like
I've
someone
only seen 2
eating
episodes.
blood?
I couldn't watch it.
Oh my God, it sounds amazing. Well, yeah, no. So I mean, this would be our crew. Like, I'm a vampire hunter. You're a demonologist.
Okay.
And we'll build this.
And your
crew
wife is
out.
a psychic.
Is she?
Well, we get for the show.
I mean, I don't want her to lie like some of these folks.
I see a child. That's all you have to say. Yeah. There's some tropes.
So Brandy her thing was she's laying in this coffin and she's just saying like she's seeing death and like people like dead and stuff like that. People touching her in her face.
She's supposed to be dead, but she's
everywhere.
Talking.
I mean, let's not split hairs on this one.
I mean, you're not like fooling the ghosts when you're sitting there chatting to them.
That is true. And then that's it for the episode. It was only 30 some minutes.
Yeah, we were just getting into like which team do we love, do we hate, do we want to see more of, and then all of a sudden it's done.
It's done.
Yeah,
we don't know if Brandy even makes it out.
Does she make it out?
That's how it was left. It was a cliffhanger. Her screaming, "Someone touch me, Jerame!"
Is that how I didn't
Yeah.
remember that even? Okay.
So yeah, we will give our review of the first episode. But before that, I want to talk about our experience.
Yeah.
So like we said at the top of the show, we went ghost hunting.
Yeah.
We went to the Buffalo Niagara Heritage something
Village or museum?
Village. Yeah, museum. But what it is, it's like all these houses from the 19th century that were transplanted from a certain area to another. You know,
Brought
all
together.
the same. Nothing was changed with them. It was the original houses and stuff like that. So the theory is that there are, you know, spirits still there from the 1800s or whatever this was from. Which that, you know, and my first question was, would they, you know, they moved this whole town.
Yeah.
Do you think they lost some spirits in the process?
Probably, because I do know that a lot of times, not a lot of times, but sometimes spirits are in homes and houses because of the land.
Not attached to something in the
Right.
home.
And they might just be wandered into the home because they're part of the environment. So,
gotcha.
yeah.
So this was a paid event that we did.
Pay to play experience.
Pay to play. They didn't invite us for our knowledge in the field.
We do want to point out that we were not invited guests for First Eps for this. Right, right.
But it was cool. So there was just like a handful of groups of people, up to 5 people. There were 4 of us doing it, and we were each given about, 10 minutes?
Yeah, at the beginning I was a little disappointed because I wanted more time, but then I got into the vibe of what the night was.
Yeah.
Which was kind of cool because they would have us go, about 10 or 15 minutes in each of the houses because there were we went to 8 of them, and then we switched around for 2 hours in each house. And it was just enough time to kind of get in there and do some questions, but not enough time to get bored or...
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah, as soon as it was nothing was happening, and we're like, all right, and then it'll be
all
the
right,
next
guys, it's time to move on. We had a little
walkie-talkie.
little walkie-talkie, yeah.
Yeah, so no, it was cool, and you look in the, and like you said, everything's original from Billy's, and they initially take you on a tour and they talk about these locations, and they give you little things talk about previous tours.
Yes, right.
I've seen this. They took
facing
pictures.
This window, or the woman.
And it wasn't a regular thing. How often do they do this?
I think it's just a couple weekends in October.
Okay, yeah. So maybe a couple times a year. And
it's usually not open at night. So that was kind of cool too, because we're literally walking around this old museum or village in the dark because they're not usually open. So it's kind of extra creepy. Now it is, late October, mid-October here in Western New York, upstate New York. So it definitely was, leaves were changing, crinkling. It was cool out. It was whatever you can imagine, a horror movie set in
oh my God.
It was
surrounded by woods.
Yep.
And it definitely
no lights, just houses with no lights on because they're all really old houses.
Just full dark, yeah. But yeah, I think the part of the experience for me was that creepiness of even the outside more than sometimes being on the inside. Now, it did make me think that next time, we each pay full team price.
Yeah.
And we just go we just go into each building by ourselves.
All right. I like that. Yeah.
And then see who lasts the longest.
We buy out the night. Yeah.
And we're just we just have GoPros on us.
That's kind of a great idea.
Yeah.
I would do that.
And we're each in a separate room and we have no contact with the other.
I would totally do that.
I just came up with this idea. It's part based on this show.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
So, man, that could be our Patreon.
Yeah. Yes. This shit pays for itself, baby.
Oh my gosh.
We don't have a Patreon, but
we're
get
always
there
thinking
someday.
what kind of golden content.
Quality stuff, which I never write down. So
Yeah, we got to just go back and listen to every one of our
good
78
idea.
seasons.
Good idea.
Yeah.
So we go through all these houses and they give us these tools. Basically, we've got a motion detector, one of those spirit boxes,
a flashlight,
and
a map.
Was
that it?
Yeah, I think so. And then our phones.
We had our phones, right?
So took a lot of pictures, a lot of video. Tried to you brought a a pendant or whatever.
Oh yeah, I had a pendulum
and
an EMF meter. Yep.
Oh yeah, and an EMF thing.
Yep.
So we had all the tools.
I did like the EMF because there's really not electricity in most of these buildings. So if it went off, we're like, oh, that's weird. But it didn't really go off all that much.
No, it didn't. And without dragging this on any longer, I had fun doing it.
Yeah.
Didn't really experience anything outstanding during the entire time. There were a couple points where things could have been. So there was one point
There
where
was two that I can remember.
we had the spirit box and we were hearing like
Yes.
we heard a name and like there
It
was
sounded like my name,
seemed
right? Did
like
it sound like a Keith
oh yeah, there was Keith like twice
in the
came
schoolhouse?
through.
I remember.
And so there it seemed like there was answers to our questions coming out of that thing, and that was cool.
That's right. Yes.
But even then, it only happened for like a split, like
a minute at the
a
most.
minute, yeah. And then it stopped. And then the other one for me, like that was probably the biggest one, and could also be the one most affected by the environment, was in our very last stop.
Yes.
We had the door open.
That was really cool.
And dude, it's giving me goosebumps right now because it fucking the door. We were going to leave, and the door just swung pretty quickly open.
Now the door, we had been in that room with the door closed for like the 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And it did not open. Now it was open. So what they did to make it more welcoming for us is that they kept the doors open to a lot of these houses. So we have to remember about opening them to get into them.
Yeah.
Which was kind of made it creepy though when you walked up to them and the doors are open.
Yeah.
Anyway. So we closed it a little bit just so we didn't hear the outside because you could occasionally hear some noise pollution from other teams.
It was pretty cold.
And that's true. It was cold.
So so we closed the door, and then
not locked it though, but just just like shut it so that it was still open, but against closed most of the way.
Yeah, exactly. Not latched.
Right. Exactly.
And then they're like, okay, time. We hear on the walkie-talkie, time's up, and we both turn to leave.
Right before that, though, remember our flashlights? They were previously working the entire time. Fine, we're flickering like crazy.
Yeah. And then we were wondering, like, are they dying? It's the last stop.
It was the last stop. Maybe they were dying.
But the tour person said that they just changed the batteries.
And we're like, oh! Anyway.
Yeah.
But then,
So that was so...
But yeah. Campers. It's time to go.
And then, we turned towards the door, and it, like, swings open fairly quickly.
Yeah.
And that was cool. But again, could just be wind. Like, that was nothing that was captured on video or audio. Yep.
Now,
that's what I want.
No, well, we did have one debunked. Remember that?
Oh, when it was your brother's stomach was growling?
Yes. So, in this pitch dark room, very quiet, you hear like, blah, 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 blah.
A fucking demon, man.
We're like, what is that? And I think your wife is like, that must be, to my brother, that must be your stomach. He's like, no, it's not my stomach. Blah, 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 blah. We're like,
we're all
God,
like, putting our microphones and shit by him, and then it goes up again. He's like, oh yeah, that's my stomach.
It was great.
The best part though, it was right next to his old trunk, and I'm like, dude, there's something in the fucking trunk trying to get out. Yeah, but it was just his stomach.
Yeah, so that was a big debunk.
Debunked.
So, but yeah, it was a fun night though.
It was fun. Like everything was definitely creepy, and it was a fun experience. But me being the skeptic, the tech guy, I always just want to I'm snapping pictures the whole time.
I was too.
And I'm like, one of these, I'm going to look back on it and there's going to be a shadow or a figure, something in there.
Yep.
We got none of that. And I recorded a ton of video and listened back to it. Nothing like that picked up or seen. So,
I mean, if anybody sees anything, because you put together a little promo that you
put on your check out the socials. It's going to be on there.
If you see anything in those shots, let us know.
It was, but it was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It was cold.
It was cold. It was probably like 50 degrees, if not a little lower.
Yeah,
it was cold.
But yeah, it was, it was a good experience. I would definitely do it again. And I'm still like, I just want to capture something.
Would you spend 28 days in one of those houses?
I mean, one of those are pretty shitty houses. Like the houses these people are staying in are at least livable. We were in like a
bigger,
or like a shack.
Yeah, like one was like a one room. Like
I would love to stay.
What if you're on the museum for 28 days? Would you do that?
Yeah. I honestly, I feel like now I don't know these places. They were creepy.
In one of those houses, though. Would you want to sleep in one of those places, though? I mean, that would be pretty creepy. Remember that one room we walked in and there was like that one little chamber passing bed, like a bedroom that on the first floor that you walked through.
Yeah.
What if you had to sleep there?
No. They would be creepy. I wouldn't like it. It's just old and like, it's not like mildewy. It's like musty or whatever and just feels old. And then on top of that, like, so to me, it's just like the vibes are all wrong.
Yeah.
And it would definitely creep me out, especially because it's completely surrounded by the forest. There'd be animals.
Oh my gosh, the sheep. We saw the sheep. They scared us all at first.
Yes, there's just random sheep out there scream, and then like it doesn't help that sheep scream like people being murdered.
Well, they saw us before we saw them, and then after they made this like bleeding, like that. the tour guy was like, "Oh, right,
Oh,
right,
yeah.
right." Then it's just seeing people at night, so they get excited, and we're like,
Mhm.
"You could have warned us
Mhm.
about that because it's just a big black field, and all of a sudden you hear these
Yeah,
like
screams.
yeah."
But yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. If
Yeah.
anybody ever has a chance to take part in an experience like this or something similar, definitely do
It
it.
was a cool idea.
Because we had so much fun. We were joking around. And just, but although we're taking it seriously, you know.
No, but I mean, I think it's like, there's, I don't know if they would do this, but like Colonial Williamsburg, there's a Jamestown has something like this, a recreation. There's, I think it's Sturbridge Village, Massachusetts. So there are these kind of collection of historical house museums that are out there. And if you take a look at them and see if they have something like this, because it was a lot of fun in your area.
I think the next one we do that one. I mean, it was a little pricey, but it's like a 8-hour private thing where you stay like the whole night.
Wait, in Iron Island or East Bethany at the?
I don't remember which one. We'll talk about it afterwards.
So here in New York, we've got this guide to haunted history trail.
Yeah, there's
which
a lot
amazing.
of haunted shit around here. I guess.
Yeah, I love looking at this. This is like one of my bathroom reads, my go-to bathroom reads.
Perfect.
But there is the Rolling Hills Asylum. That's the one.
Yes,
that I might want to go to. It's supposed to be like a 7-foot tall like ghost apparition.
And that one I think was like $300 or whatever to stay like overnight or some shit.
I think it's for like. And you stay less if you're there for like a couple hours instead. It's less money, and that's per team too. Yeah. So it's not too bad.
Because they had the one where it's like you could just it would be completely.
You want to
private.
stay overnight?
Where there would just be no other people. It would just be like our
just
group.
Us.
Yeah.
Oh wow. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about that on this episode.
Yeah.
I like we're slowly morphing over into ghosts.
Yeah. This is now just a ghost show.
I would totally.
First ghosts.
Yes. We haven't seen a ghost yet.
No, we haven't. We need our first ghost.
Yeah, that could be it.
All right.
Stories.
Well,
let's talk about these ghosts.
Let's talk about these ghosts. 28 Days Haunted. What is your official First Eps review of the first episode?
It was fine.
This is out of 10. This is a 1 to 10 scale.
I'm going to give it a 5.
I will also give it a 5.
Wow, I think that was the first time we've ever agreed on one.
That is absolutely the first time. Yeah. So it was, again, I don't know what to believe with this. First of all, it's a show. It's supposed to be entertainment. Where do I draw the line as a skeptic on what is really happening? What is bullshit? And I can't tell.
Do you think it's bullshit because the bravado of the people in it, the dry goods place? Or do you think it's bullshit because they're actively trying to fuck with us as a viewer? That's
what I want to know. If we do hear maybe a loud noise or something, was that triggered by people on the show to do that? There could be so many levels. Was there even a noise at all? And the people on there are just acting because they want, more screen time or whatever. How much of it? To me, all the mediums kind of do that already. I feel like they have to.
Oh my gosh, some are worse than others.
Everything's so fucking ridiculous. It's not I just want a medium to just be okay, there's I said there's a little kid here or something. Not fountains of blood raining down upon me. It's I don't know.
It's so as I've heard of mediums, what they is literally they experience these things, but instead of have you ever had a weird image pop into your head or a weird thought? So they learn to trust those and think of those as being sent purposeful. They're not just the brain playing tricks and whatever. So if that's what they see are fountains of blood, they're just going to say it, even though it sounds really bizarre to us. So I don't know whether I believe it or not.
But in these situations, they know that they need to provide entertainment for people in the camera and shit like that. So it's that's the stuff I don't trust. That's why I'm with the tech guy, because I want to hear something come back, or I want to see something. I want to see their reaction to hearing something.
And I find I'm the same way with the mediums, because there are those that try to whether or not they're doing it purposefully, they are stealing the scenes and are leading the tours. And I don't like that. I want your experience to look for ghosts really in it, not one person just yelling the entire time that they're sensing something.
Yes, and that's what this Brandy and Jerome, that's just them. They're just yelling the whole time about death and murder and stuff. And I'm I just can't.
That was really annoying.
They did no tech stuff at all.
No.
They had maybe like the EMF thing going.
They've got their hands in the air to feel things, and they're shooting around holy water and screaming, going back to hell.
Yeah.
It was bizarre.
Yeah. So
for no reason, because we didn't even hear anything. Nothing. That group had nothing that we listened to.
Nothing.
It was just
no booms, no bangs,
nothing.
No footsteps.
It was the woman in the thing saying that's when he was standing on her, she's getting touched, and then. But some of the other ones we heard noises or booms or the spirit box
or even
stuff.
like the one where the literal thing is like whispering like "Get out of my house."
Yes.
Like
whether I would buy that or not, exactly. But yes.
So it's enjoyable, entertaining experience to watch it and to see this. Now I take it with a complete grain of salt for this one.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I think maybe if I see more episodes, maybe I'll either take it with more salt, or I'll be like, okay, this seems legit, but like they need to dial it back a little bit.
Yeah.
Because like I will always have my line in the sand is ghost hunters, and like you said, that would just be like them like recording audio for a half hour. We don't hear anything until like at the end. They're like, we went over our files and this is what we found.
Oh, really? Oh,
exactly.
We can't tell you what it said.
Me and Emilio. Hey, and it's like my uncle was named Emilio.
Oh, well, there you have it. But anything that's here is not aggressive. It's not dangerous.
You're fine. So, and now it's the complete opposite. It's just now. Granted, these are the most haunted places.
Sure,
but
I actually think ghost hunters went to this cottage.
Oh,
I'm sorry, the inn.
Okay, but I skeptical,
wrong.
but as an experience to laugh at and. Hopefully, get some goosey pimples going.
It's funny you say laugh at because I was just looking up just find one of the people because I wanted to identify where I knew him from. What's his name? Jeremy. And a headline said like something about it being like unintentionally hilarious. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Amazon.
Okay.
So I'm excited.
Netflix, first of all.
That's it. Netflix. Yes.
Thank you, Netflix.
No, thank you, Amazon. You passed. Netflix, you did
the bricks. That's funny. I want to read that article now.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. But I was but it's funny. You mentioned about what we think of it. So 50% of 55, whatever.
Yeah.
But I would have rated this a binge. Because it's something that I want to see more of. And
it's an easy watch.
Exactly. Put on the background. It's not a big deal.
Hour.
Like my Kesha. You just watch it and see what happens.
No, I agree. Yeah, the quality of it is not great, but it's like fast food. You know, it's just like shitty quality, but like, you can't stop eating it.
I mean, it's funny because the quality is even less than like a Discovery Plus. Like it
I like that they have all the cameras set up
you like
and stuff like that.
Okay.
I mean, because that's what I like. I just like to. I need to see like in the beginning they show like what's to come in 28 days, and it's like all
crazy,
this crazy shit. Cabinets moving and lights fucking swinging.
People falling
and stuff
on stairs.
Like that. Yes. So I don't know. I don't know how much of that is put on, but yeah, I'm gonna watch the whole thing. I'm gonna find out.
Yeah.
And yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I want to say I do believe the Denver ones are with Shane Pittman because I never thought of him as being anything other than realistic when I saw him in the Holzer Files. Dave Schrader, that's who he was with. Dave Schrader's the other guy. Anyway, yeah. Their group was the best. Well, then Amy is a little much, but the girl was a little, But
yeah, their group, I like them. They're not as, and then I like the three
dudes.
Guys, but I don't like the medium. The way he talks, it seems put on, like he's acting. And I don't like that.
Yeah.
The way he emphasizes words, it's like he's always talking to a camera. So yeah. That is our take on 28 Days Haunted. There are 6 episodes, only 6 episodes.
6 episodes in total.
In total.
All out?
Yep, all out now.
Cool.
About half hour a piece. So it'll be a quick 28 days.
Oh yeah, so what's that? 3 hours over as you binged it.
Yeah, exactly.
About. I mean, I'm not sure if
you can run through almost a whole month in 3 hours.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
So I guess not a lot happened.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they don't have, 3 houses, 28 days.
They were training for 24 hours a day. They put 3 hours.
Yeah. That's a very good point. So, maybe we'll dock out a couple points. No, thank you so much for watching this episode, listening to this episode of First Eps. Our spooky season continues.
Oh my gosh, thank God, yeah.
One more week left of this spooky season. Yeah. We're going to be watching.
And then it's going to be Hallmark movies for 6 weeks.
I was looking to see what our schedule is going to be for November. Yeah. And they do start up right away, right at the beginning of Netflix. So, yeah. But yeah, next week, Guillermo del Toro's Curiosity
finally.
Cabinet or whatever. Looking forward to that
We've
one.
been looking forward to it for the past month. I keep thinking every week is going to be this week.
And now I feel like we're putting it up. We're building it. Our expectations way too high.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks again. Check us out on our socials. We're on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and then the audio version of this show, podcast services anywhere. The video version on YouTube at Pop Culture Playground. And that's about it. You got anything else you wanna add?
No.
All right.
Take care.
Thank you so much. We'll see you next week with more spooky First Eps.
Okay, we got. That's a
Peachwood.
not good. No. Not brought to you by Corona Seltzers.
No, not good at all.